pastel pink in the sunset.
So, hi guys. So, welcome back to another wedding video. Okay, I think I should just pick up. It's 5 months before my wedding. The previous video that I did was like, I think about 2 months ago, and I'm not sure whether people will actually watch it, but I'm quite heartened to know that actually there's one of you actually who wrote an email to thank me for sharing my thoughts about planning a post-COVID-19 kind of wedding. And I actually thought that everything will go pretty smoothly because it's going to be a small wedding, but it turns out that later on there are some issues because, like, the guy's side parents wanted certain things, and then I just didn't know that I would end up turning somewhat into like a bridezilla. I thought that maybe I wouldn't request a lot of things, and I wouldn't go like so uptight about everything, about planning details. But now that I'm diving right into it and like booking the vendors, I realized that I can be a bit quite uptight. So we decided that me and my fiance decided that we can only talk about wedding like once a week, because every time I go to him will be about like things like wedding, because I want to clarify with him and ask him questions, when it comes to really like setting all the vendors and stuff. So we like kind of like book out Wednesday just to talk about wedding, because it can be quite stressful to be like and mundane to keep on talking about wedding, and for him, he's not the kind of guy who's really into planning and stuff like that. He doesn't like looking at details, whereas for me, I actually like doing the planning and stuff. I like organizing. I like knowing that I have everything in my own hands. I can actually plan everything out, make things smoothly. So I didn't know that it will get that serious after some time. So I learned along the way. So at this point in time, we have already booked our venue for 20 people. There are plans of increasing. I initially wasn't too keen about increasing the number of people, but now to think that it will be good to increase the number of people, because there are relatives that actually requested who were hoping to actually attend our wedding. At the same time, because the venue itself, it was quite costly. So I won't be revealing the venue here, but if you'd like to know, you can actually email me and I can share with you guys like which restaurant that I actually booked. But it's actually a restaurant. So it is quite classic restaurant. I mean, it's quite timeless, and we chose that restaurant because we had our first few dates near that restaurant, but we haven't ate at that restaurant before. So what happened was, after we have viewed the restaurant and we kind of like it, and we enjoy the conversations that we have with the wedding coordinator. And I think that's the most important, to have a very trusted, reliable wedding coordinator. And based on the reviews that we actually see, we kind of liked it. And then they don't have food tasting, so we have to go down then try it, because actually I kind of knew that the food would be great because based on the reviews. But my fiance and his parents wanted to try the food, and then we went down and tried it, and it was quite good. So when we were happy, we kind of booked the place. Then after that, we kind of booked everything else. So the very first step I realized to really get wedded, first is to really book the date to church. I mean, if let's say you are organizing if you're having a Christian wedding, so that is to book the date. So we already booked the date way ahead, just that we couldn't proceed to go on to the next step of booking a venue because of COVID-19. And I find that actually weddings, you don't need like to take 1 year to actually prepare, because some couples, they kind of like, after they propose, they waited for like 1 year before they they organize their wedding. I realized actually you don't really need that a lot of time. To me, I feel that in fact 5 to 6 months is good enough. You just need that couple of months to plan. I guess maybe because like the scale of the wedding now is small, so actually to be honest, I probably just need about 4 to 5 months just to plan this. I'm not sure if it's a bigger scale, yes, it may be more things, but it's still doable actually with 6 months working out schedule, planning a wedding. Yeah, you don't have to actually wait for 1 year, but I guess because of the flat and my upcoming BTO, we have to wait. Yeah, so after the venue is done, now I'm like one thing down off my chest. Oh yes, so booking a date first with the church, and then coming up with the venue, and then after that I went to firm up the guest list. So the guest list was already prepared way ahead, so that you can roughly know how many packs you want. But now with 20, we can just make do with what is that. So guest list was done, and the fourth one, it's basically okay. The fourth one is quite subjective. Some people might want to do certain things first, but for me, I went to look for makeup artists first. So right after booking the venue, I actually went to search for makeup artists, and I was pretty okay. I'm not very particular with makeup artists, and I have worked before a couple of like wedding makeup artists. Okay, actually, as long as they are hygienic, as in they use like clean makeup brushes, I'm pretty fine actually. And yeah, I am not too particular about that, and as long as they do like natural makeup, yeah, and then also as long as they know how to do the hair, I think I'm fine with that. So I was actually looking around, and I realized that actually it's very expensive, and I find that probably, I'm not sure whether it's the market price or what, but it is way too expensive to be charging like bridal makeup for like $500-600. That's like a lot. I mean, you can actually use that amount to actually like, I mean, it's like equivalent to like a wedding band, some sort of thing, so to me it's like it's very overpriced, the market. So I managed to find something that is within my budget, about say $200. I know it's very low. Yeah, but I managed to find this lady. I actually asked a few. Actually, there are several makeup artists that offered this, and they were fully booked on that day. So I find that maybe a lot of brides, they already booked their makeup artists because they're doing pre-wedding shoot earlier. So I guess maybe that's why a lot of the makeup artists are booked up very quickly. Another vendor that is booked up very quickly is photography and videography. So I find that these two kind of like are booked like months ahead. Usually they're booked months ahead by people, by brides, by grooms, about 6 to 7 months. So I find that these two are the ones that you might want to book first, since a lot of people are like booking them way ahead in advance. So I got my makeup artist. She's a Vietnamese. So if you'd like to find out more, I'll just let me know as well. But after my wedding, I will reveal all the vendors that I've worked with, because I have not worked exactly with them. I just kind of like paid deposit and booked them. But I just want to give, I'll give a proper review of every vendor that I worked with right after the wedding. And yeah. So that's one thing, and when I'm looking for vendors, I hope that they will reply me quickly as well, in terms of like responsiveness, because on that day itself, or if I have any questions, I hope that they can actually get back to me quickly. And I also don't want to engage makeup artists that are overbooked, or like very, very busy, or like too popular that they couldn't give much attention to you, and then they have rushed off for weddings. So I didn't want that to happen. So I kind of make sure that I do not want makeup artists to be like too popular, that sort of thing. Same goes for the videographer and photographer. I initially wanted to have separate vendors, like one vendor for photography, the other for videography, because I know that some companies, they don't specialize in both. They usually specialize in one area. So even if they offer both services, right, they will be an expert. They will be probably performing better in photography and maybe not in videography, that sort of thing. So, and it is the case for many of the companies that I approach, that they seem to be better off at one area rather than both. So, but after searching for a few, a lot of them are booked out, and same thing, it was a little bit overpriced. Some of them have kind of jacked up the price after the post-COVID-19. Package really ranges about $2,000 for like a 6 to 8 hours actual day shoot, and my fiance and I were not planning for a pre-wedding shoot. We're totally going just for actual day photography, and actual day photography is way expensive, way more expensive than pre-wedding photography because of the nature. You have to like walk around and you have to be very sharp and alert and to be on your toes at all times. So that would be, yeah, just photography itself is 2,000. So videography itself is another like 1 to 2,000. So in total, you'll be spending about 3K for videography and photography. So that's again going to be way too much. So I was looking around for more affordable ones, but at the same time I wanted quality as well, because I'll be posting all these videos and all the photos on my Instagram, my blog and TikTok, whatever. So I wanted just something not too shabby, but able to deliver kind of quality photos. Anyway, I don't really need that, you know, that award-winning kind of like videographer or photographer. Like right now, they're very popular. It's like Bridezilla. I don't need that kind of like heavily filtered kind of photos. Although, you know, it looks nice, but I don't need that, because and my colleagues who have been, you know, who have wedded before, they were telling me that actually, yeah, you know, it's cool to take all these nice photos, but after a couple of years, you wouldn't actually look back at it. Actually, you know, to you, it's just, you know, photos, and you wouldn't even have the time to actually look at the videos or the photographs after you have a child and things like that. So you don't have to take a lot of photos. You don't have to spend like 8 hours taking photos all the time. So just kind of like, you know, get a minimum package and things like that. So that's what I was going for. So eventually I ended up on this company, a very young company. They charge very affordable photography at very affordable rates. Okay, so they charge at very affordable rates, including videography, and they do live stream. So that's the best part. They covered all 3 areas, because my fiance and I, we are very into live stream. I haven't started live streaming yet, but he has started. So we are very particular about this, and we want his viewers on Twitch to be watching the live stream as well. So we are working out and ironing out some things on that. So that's the 3 services that this company actually provided. So all thanks to Budget Brides, the website, the Facebook page that one of them actually recommended. So the next thing we are going to move on, which I haven't looked at it yet, is probably the rental of gowns, suit, getting the wedding dance. We wanted wedding cake as well. And then we will have to talk about the wedding invitation cards, which actually I'm working on right now, and that is kept simple because I can use Canva, and I have a premium account for Canva, so I can easily design the cards on it and then use my favorite fonts that I like. So that is all good, and after that, just done, you know. So actually it's pretty simple. Just don't look too much into it. It's actually the research, that finding that right vendor and the right people to work with, that is the hardest part. That is the most, I don't know, mind-boggling kind of part, because especially if you are very particular about the rates, about the budget. Like for myself, we do have a budget. We wouldn't want to spend too much on it because we want to save up more for our future home. So wedding is just a day. Yes, it's YOLO. Yes, the very fact that it's once in a lifetime and you want it to be great, but I find that a lot of things, you kind of like use it and you don't use it after the wedding, and it's a day that can be very forgettable sometimes, even though it can be made memorable. But the one that made it more memorable is actually the people, the food, the service, the kind of feelings and emotions that you bring up, and not exactly the things or the decor. So sometimes I ask myself, like, you know, do I really need to buy a lot of decor? Like a lot of the brides, they bought a lot of decor, and they just sell it on Budget Bride's Facebook page. Yeah, so I find that, you know, it's a hassle, like having to buy and then to sell off because you don't need them after that. So it's better to rent, DIY, or perhaps not, or just do without it, because really at the end of the day, they are just decor and they don't really make you feel special on your wedding day in certain ways, because they just looks nice on photos, but that's about it. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm glad that I kind of like shared everything and with you guys, and kind of like rant a little bit, get everything off my chest. And yep, so, and for any brides out there, brides to be out there who's planning a wedding, I hope all the best. in your planning. And if you have any questions, right, or any recommendations or any suggestions, please let me know in the comment box below. I'd love to hear you, like the bride that is the bride to be, one of you who actually wrote to me a very long email to thank me about this video, because I know that there are not many wedding videos done by Singaporean YouTubers on YouTube. A lot of them is Americans, yeah. So I'm glad that in one way or another my video has kind of benefited a lot of you. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!